Infernoble Knight. Let's go. Let's get it. Deck profile. Undefeated list. Infernoble Knights. Taking this bad boy to regionals this coming weekend. Let's go. I was going to upload the second replay of the, what is it called? The ABC Brave deck, but this came up. I wanted to make sure this was out before the regionals came, and followed by the Deep Sea Necros combo tutorial. So all that is definitely still planned. I'm going to get started with the Deep Sea Necros combo stuff right after this, actually. So stay tuned for that. That should probably be here by the end of the week and all that. But here we are, task at hand. Infernoble Knight. Someone once said to me that's like my new toy. A deck I can't really put away. It is my third favorite deck. But this isn't your typical Infernoble Knight deck. This is a deck that has a big twist to it, a huge twist, a lot of spice, and for those who have been with Infernoble Knight since 2020, it will give you like old Infernoble Knight vibes, because you're going to see a lot of the older cards from the older combos. I won't spoil too much, let's just get right on to it. Alright, gents. And maybe the occasional lady that jumps up in here. Infernoble Knight deck profile. This is a 50 card list. Honestly, it really does not feel like this deck is optimized unless you are playing like 50 cards. Like, it is not optimized like if you're playing 40. You're just missing too many important things. So, starting off, best package, connector, dolphin, 100%. Honestly, I really, there's been so many situations where my opponent has like an Ash or something, and this gets hit, and you don't have like the proper extenders to hit like other things, like hand traps and stuff. Like, so many times you just really wish you had this in hand instead of this. It feels like I should be bumping this to 2, and I may do that at some point in the future. But for the regional, I think I'm going to leave it at this. I think this is just fine. 3 Olivers. You want to see as many ways as possible to a tuner extender. And Infernoble Knight, you have many ways to get to it. Also, it is a warrior for his soul. It is something you can equip to a Zold if you are wanting to dig out an imperm from your opponent before you even activate the Zold effect. That came up, so yeah. And those are these. Next, we have 1 Ogier and 1 Renan. I really, honestly, I feel like I do want to bump these up a little bit more. The way I designed this deck to play through as many hand traps as humanly possible. And Ogier Renan is just another way to do that. And there may be some things that you can see later on this profile that I can cut. Or any of you guys' suggestions. Next, we have 2 God Phoenix Gearfrieds. A lot of people play 1, but honestly, I've been wanting to play 3 again for a while, because again, as many ways as possible to play through hand traps. You just want to open this a lot of the time. A lot of times you just want to open this. You just want to see this and summon it on summon 4. Or summon 5 just to dig out the nib, so they're not using it on your Auroradon or Fiber stuff. Just to fish the nib out. This stuff is all about fishing things out of your opponent. I've played through Ash nib because of this card. It was nice. Yeah, this deck can consistently play through 2 hand traps very easily. In the locals and tournament, it showed and it proved that time after time, the entire locals. Next, we have 2 red layers. I do own 3. I don't know where my third one is. I didn't want to go digging through my bulk to find a common, so I decided to bump my Fireflit Lady count up to 2. And honestly, I think this is good. I think it's good to diversify the kind of extenders. Like, a lot of people are on like have a lot of these 3-1 ratios, right? That would be on like 3 Oliver, 1 Gearfried, 3 Red Layer, 1 Flint Lady, and stuff like that. But honestly, I think having a lot of 2s did nice because I saw a little bit of everything fairly consistently in this tournament. It was nice. So, I think this is it for just the fire stuff. Now on to the monster you want to summon, typically off of his old. 8 times out of 10, you're summoning this. The 9th time out of 10, you're summoning Aqua Dolphin. And the 10th time out of 10, you are summoning Doppel Warrior. Yes, I said Doppel Warrior. We are also playing Mally in this deck. Mally is also very nice, and it allows me to essentially, if I got like weird stuff going on, right? If my plays are being kind of weird, based on either just circumstances or based on what my opponent's done, the Mally can kind of get me there. Or let's say I've already played with Arm Knight, I can banish this Phoenix Blade, DDR this back, dump Mally. Mally and an Oliver can make instant Baron. Mally or Renaud / Oliver summoned from hand makes Power Tool, Shooting Riser, and things like that. This plus Plague, if I already put Plague, summon back a Banished Plague with, let's say, DDR to summon a Charles, it's now engraved, so this and Plague makes a Savage or Omega or... Yeah, Mally in hand isn't bad either because it's just a free discard for things like Dolphin. It's a free, I think it's a free discard for Overdone Burial. I'm not sure. All I know is, like, even if it's in hand, you have a lot of ways to discard it. So, with DDRs, Dolphin, again. Another very spicy part of this deck. I'm telling you guys, this Infernoble deck is spicy. Probably why I did so well with this deck, and the ability to push through things is unparalleled. This card, this card is nice. Okay, there's also another engine in here. I'm just gonna actually just put it out. Okay, the Reflector stuff with like your Soul Mode activate. If you see Teleport and Doppel Warrior in your hand, you win the game. Pure point blank. I know it's like a specific 2-card combo, but seeing this in hand in a lot of situations lead to like dumb stuff, right? So simply put, for those of you who don't know, Doppel Warrior is a level 2 warrior, so I've actually searched this a couple times with Rhoda. If a monster has been special summoned from the graveyard, you can summon this from your hand. If it is in the graveyard as synchro material, you summon 2 Doppel tokens. Guess what? They're both warriors. So, you activate Teleport, you summon this, you add Beast, you get your activate, you activate this, summon this as a level 7, reveal Doppel Warrior, summon it, so you have 7, 8, 9, 10, you make Baron, you summon 2 tokens, and those 2 tokens make Isolde. So the Baron came out on summon 4, just like that. So it's like nib protection right there. And your Isolde has a little bit of insulation as well. So yeah, this stuff is nice. Also, if you don't even have this, let's say you just have this. If you summon your Plague, right? You summon Doppel Warrior from your hand. You can make Arc Light right there before you even commit to your fiber stuff if you want to. But oftentimes you can do things like use the Plague and like the Isolde. Make Needle Fiber, summon your Despot, and you make your Martial Metal Marcher, you summon your token, summon back, like, let's say an Oliver or whatnot, you make TG Librarian and like all this other stuff, and you're drawing cards. You keep the Metal Marcher and you like link that off into an Auroradon, or you use the you just make like a power, you just climb into like a power tool, search and equip, then make a Auroradon, summon your tokens, summon your 001. There's a lot of ways to play this stuff out. This card opens a lot of plays up with a lot of cards, especially when it comes to things like Overdone Burial and things like that. So that's enough explaining those cards. Bricks, 001, Coltwing. There was a game where I opened both of these in the same hand. It sucked. I drew Reflective Return, so I really only had 3 playable cards instead of 4 more. This is a search off Cupid Pitch. I want to match off of this because of time and Cupid Pitch being able to burn. We are playing Artifact Scythe. This actually has multiple purposes. You send this to grave with Shooting Riser, make Shooting Riser level 2, and sync with like a power tool into a Charles or something. You'll often have a Baron on the field as well. And if you really want to, on standby, you can use Baron and summon this. Arclight will typically be on the board as well. So the droplet kit will be negated and this will kind of just resolve. You can make Arclight way easier if a Doppel Warrior is somewhat in play somewhere. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's go on to the spells. 3 teleport. This is for the Sire Reflector stuff. I was going to add the Punk stuff too, but I don't play enough level 9 syncs. I don't play any level 6 syncs to warrant doing it. So and this is a 50 card deck, so, you know, the chances of me seeing multiples is slim to none, which I did not see multiples, but I did see this a lot. A lot. The thing about this, right? Sire Reflectors, it's so flexible. It is incredibly flexible in this deck. I have, typically I go for Baron if let's say I have this plus not even Doppel Warrior, but like Neo Space Connector, Arm Knight, things like that. You can make Baron, that's typically what you want to go for, but guess what? Hey, I've made Charles with this because you can increase Assault Beast by 4 levels and make an auto level 9 sync. So I have made Charles with this automatically. A couple of times I would just make Roland instantly so I can just have the warrior on the field. Because oftentimes you will struggle to make Roland with a lot of your setups. So this could automatically make Roland for you. And then it's a warrior for his soul. Especially like, let's say your connector. Let's say you summon your Reflect, you add your Assault Mode activate, and you don't know what your opponent has, and let's say you choose not to Reflector to summon. Let's say you summon Connector, because I've done this, you summon Connector and it gets like Veiler to Ash, Impermed or something, and you don't have any other extenders, well, then you can use Sire Reflector, reveal the Assault Mode activate, summon the Assault Beast, make Roland, you know, effect on end phase, then make a Zol, and you still are good. So, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can make, you know, Omega right off rip too. Like, I don't, but just typically Rolling Charles and, what's it called? Baron is typically what you kind of make with this. And if you have, like, Red Layer, you don't want to play it right away, but if you don't have Red Layer, you always want to draw phase it. The play around draw. Equips, 3 Durandal, self-explanatory, 3 DDRs, self-explanatory, but we are playing a little bit more equips. We're playing Living Fossil, Overdone, Metal Silver. These all have a purpose. This actually has more of a purpose now because of the Doppel Warrior. You know, dropping Renard on the field, adding Overdone Burial. You know, activating the Overdone Burial, bringing back Doppel Warrior, Charles Pop, the Auroradon, make Martial Metal Marcher up top, a Metal Marcher effect, Doppel effect, summon 2 tokens, bring back Riser, make Arclight with 1 token, and make the level 7 Riser and the other level 1 token into a Savage. So, you still want just a completely untargetable board with this. Just having these gives you options for when you're under like a Lancia and stuff. So you'll typically foolish like everything else, and you want to keep like this stuff, these in your deck for like your power tool stuff. 2 Heritage. There's been a few times where I wish I was playing a Stolko in this deck for like the level modulation. But, you know, I think that was just fine. Main Breaker Field is nuts. I played it 3 times. Every single time, only one time did it really bait to really just, like, they just had the auto Phoenix Enforcer this on activation. The other deck was like some weird Eldritch deck, and that had like TTs and all that. He, for some reason, just let this go. And TTs were useless, Conquistadors were useless. Like, this thing just kind of just beats a lot of decks, especially, you know, when you have things like Phoenix Enforcer, Shishao, a lot of that stuff. All this stuff targets, man, like Imperm and all that stuff. Like Ghost Ogre's in the format. Like, this card does work. So that is a good option to keep in. Rhoda, obviously. Reborn, obviously. And we do have like 3 Go Second cards. Forbidden Dripsies. Forbidden Drips. I didn't see it as much as I wanted it to. There's like one time where I was like, man, I really wish I had this. But this is okay. Like, maybe I can, I don't know, maybe I could cut like a Reborn and like another card for like a couple more Going Second cards. But I can just side those. Speaking of which, I had a 12 card side, but extra deck. We're only playing 3 Link monsters. Isolde, Needle Fiber, Auroradon. That's it. This is a Synchro heavy Infernoble list. Again, it was going to give off some old Infernoble Knight vibes. Why? Because we're playing things like Martial Metal Marcher again. This card is very flexible. Doppel Warrior kind of just lets this thing, like, Doppel Warrior allows me to make this so easy, like way easier, because of like Needle Fiber, you know, summoning the 001. You can make this stuff before you even commit to like your Needle Fiber stuff, right? Reason being, if you, let's say you sit here and you don't know what your opponent's got going on, right? Let's say you do the Side Reflector stuff and you have the Doppel Warrior. You can make Metal Marcher, summon back your, what's it called? You can make Metal Marcher with the Doppel and the Reflector, summon back your Reflector, and you can either sync this in the Assault Beast, depending on what level you modulated it to. You could modulate this to a 7 and still make Baron. And the tokens for Isolde, and you still have like the leftover Reflector. But you can end up making Hyper Librarian with the just with this and the or what's it called? Don't listen to me, man. Don't listen to me. Just with the Reflector, the brought back Reflector and the Assault Beast, and you can keep this for like Needle Fiber stuff. And the 2 tokens still make Isolde. Like, if you want to set up your Hyper Librarian early, and get a ass load of draws by the time you commit to an Auroradon, you can do that. Cupid Pitch, Arc Light. For those of you who don't know, this is not optional. This is mandatory. You have to level modulate. I really, really wish you did not have to, because this is the one deck where I really wish I did not have to level modulate. I would love to just keep this at a level 4 and just sync this with an Auroradon token into a Power Tool and just get my search, and then search with Power Tool and stuff, and get the draws off TG. Roland, this is still self-explanatory. TG, again, TG, Metal Marcher, and stuff. Old Hyper, you know, this is like old Infernoble vibes, where you just draw a bunch of cards and do stuff. This has allowed me to play through things like crazy stuff. This lets me play through Lancia, for sure. I had an opponent, he ashed my connector and he dropped Lancia on me, and I'll put the picture up, but I managed to full combo this guy. Don't even summon Auroradon. I do just Metal Marcher TG Librarian combos and Synchro Climb, drew a bunch of cards, and made a bunch of synchros and all that, like drew into Scythe, and it was just game. But Power Tools, still want to play 2. Shooting Riser, This card was way better when I thought Cupid Pitch didn't have to level modulate, but now that Cupid Pitch, I know that this has to level modulate, it's a lot more difficult to get off, right? And oftentimes I do find myself wishing I had like one more link. Like one more link or like one more like level 8 synchro or something that I can go into. Or just another synchro in general that I could make. Because it's like the scythe doesn't even come up like that, you know what I mean? Like half the time if I have the option to go for this and go for scythe, like I'm often losing out on another negate, which is Baron, because it goes back to the extra. So it's like, why do I even need to do all of that when I can just Omega you multiple times and set up like an arc light and stuff? Like I kind of just win from there. So I don't know. I'm thinking about possibly cutting this in scythe, but there's reasons I kind of don't right now. Omega, way more important than Savage. Charles, highly important, simply just to have a Fire Warrior to summon Renaud out of your hand. And Baron, because it's stupid easy to make, especially when you have Emergency Teleport. Side deck real quick. We're playing 3 crossouts. This is one of the reasons why I, kind of am glad that I didn't like cut Riser and Scythe, because I can kind of keep Scythe in for those decks that do have Scythe, so I can banish my own. We side the hand traps that kind of matter most against this deck. I probably should think about playing an Imperm. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like the deck can play through these 2 cards like well. They can play through these 2 cards even without the crossout. But it's like, why would I choose not to want to search, with Power Tool when I can just ensure I can search with Power Tool? All right. Next, we just have back row hate because we don't want to deal with Flunder. We don't want to deal with floodgates. We don't want to deal with like there's too much back row, at least from where I'm coming from, right? Again, I only randomly had 12 side deck. I didn't even know what else to side. Like 2 matches I didn't even side at all. But I think the 3 cards I do want to side, I think I maybe want to take Lancia out, because honestly, if you Lancia me, I'm just gonna TG Librarian combo to death, and like Plague Spreader is just free real estate at that point. That's what happened with the guy that Lancia'd me. So honestly, I might cut this for Imperm, so I can protect my Zold a little bit more. But yeah, this might be cut for Imperm, and I may just play like maybe 3 Dark Rulers just to round off my side deck to like 15. Like, I don't know. Like, y'all let me know. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. This is Infernoble Knights. This is a spicy Infernoble list. Again, it was undefeated. It did exactly what I wanted it to do, which is play through as many hand traps as possible and rip cards out of opponents' hands like crazy. I can rip 4, I can rip 2, I can rip 3. It really just depends on however much I want to set up, because it's like however much I rip, like sometimes I'll get lucky, but I don't think once I've opened DDR. I don't think I opened DDR once today. But if you just open DDR, you can likely rip almost all cards out of your opponent's hand, especially if they dropped other hand traps. If they dropped hand traps against you, it makes it even easier to beat them. Like, that's what it is. It's like, oh, you're hand trapping me? Then you just bring me even closer to my win condition. Here's a Omega ×2 or ×3. Especially if you hand trap me twice, I'll probably just hit you 3 times and just keep the Charles and the Baron and equip the metal silver armor and all that stuff, and you kind of just lose from there. But anyway, let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the deck profile, and yeah. Alright, fam, that's it. Deck profile is there. Told you it was gonna be spicy. We love it. Spice is always nice. Rogue will never go meta. Meta will always go back to the Rogue for some odd reason. And I like the innovation in this format, with the exception of things like Scythe, for example. But, it's whatever. I think this is what I'm going to rock with in the regional. If you guys are going to the Lubbock Regional, coming this weekend, being March 26th, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. that's where I will be. So, with that being said, guys, let me know what your thoughts are regarding this deck down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.